Welcome to another episode of StuTube. First, obviously, I would like to just do a quick audio visual check. If there's anybody here with me, this is going to be a very quick one here. I see there is a couple people here. Sorry, this is a very last minute. I actually have prior engagements that I got to be at in about 20 minutes here. So this is just a very quick update, kind of based off of basically what we went over yesterday. Let me just pull up here. But yeah, I mean, wow, guys, Bitcoin just continues to be quite volatile, moving thousands of dollars very rapidly in both directions, not just one or the other, right? I mean, this market is very volatile both directions, which is fantastic for traders such as ourselves. This is actually, as I just mentioned, for those of you who are still piling in here, going to be a very short, very quick live stream here, guys. Like I mentioned, I have somewhere else I got to be in 20 minutes here. I just wanted to do a quick recap because in yesterday's stream, we did end up taking a couple of positions. And the last one that I took near the end of the stream actually played out absolutely beautifully. We ended up taking a short just above 58K. I actually added very small amount to that position that I took. I think it was around $58,061, I think was my average entry. And then I ended up adding to it very slightly on this little drop here and ended up with an average entry of $58,026.90 to be exact. But yeah, basically we saw a bunch of weakness here. Quite honestly, you guys, had I stuck to my initial short in yesterday's video, it was basically bang on the top. I want to say it was around 58.3K, maybe just below that. But yeah, that actually would have worked out better. But I didn't hold that position. I updated stop losses too quickly and stuff like that. Totally fine. I got in a juicy short anyway. And we totally did reach the main target that I was talking about, right? I said that, I thought that since we did sweep this high here, notice that we broke above this yellow line here. So we ended up sweeping that. And I said that it made perfect sense that rather than FOMOing into this position and going long because of this bullish structure break here, that there was a chance that we end up retracing, because that's just a typical kind of a setup I look for, right? If I was looking to play this bullishly, I mean, yeah, technically right now we are right around that support that I was aiming for. I'm just not very confident on the long side of things right now. And I know I sound like a broken record because I've been very bearish for the last several months, honestly, at this point. I've just been enjoying playing the long or the short side of things a lot more because I just do have a stronger bearish bias in general. So I can keep a level head a little bit better when I'm playing that direction. But yeah, basically after sweeping this high here, losing this structure here, getting a pullback, I think we ended up testing basically to the 786, 886. So yeah, this is actually where I think my initial short was in yesterday's stream, was basically right at that 786. Like I said, updated stop loss too early, entered a new position and played out absolutely great, hit my range target at this level here. I was actually taking profits along the way. I didn't wait until all the way down here to start taking profits, but this is kind of where I started locking in most of my position. I still do have a little bit of the short running. I left about 40% on the table for now, because just in case that this floor just gives out, right? That's something that I often talk about on this channel, is that I'm more of a scalper personally. So I like to take profits very quickly, especially when the markets are this volatile, you guys. There's so many people who are trying to hold on to positions too long, not paying themselves, even though they had a great position. They never lock in any profits. They get greedy and then they end up losing or just getting stopped at break even repeatedly. And that's just one reason why I love to pay myself quickly, at least on part of my position, because then even if I'm wrong about my theory, if I'm wrong about us going to 53K in the next little bit here, in the next couple of days, in my opinion, if I'm wrong about that, I still made money on this short. So I really don't care. My stop loss just above this structure up here now at this point. And I'm just going to leave the position, the remaining 40% of my position run, because yeah, it's absolutely possible that I should take all my profits here, because if we go up here, I'm going to miss out on a bunch of profits. That's totally fine though, because, being that I've been paying myself in this classic Stuber fib pocket, right? We came down to the 786, 886, since that would typically be, if I was bullish, if I had a more bullish bias right now, this would be where I would want to be basically laddering into a long position. You can see that we're very clearly just getting some sort of a reaction at this level. The only thing for me right now is that, yes, I absolutely see the possibility of a potential long scalp here or something like that, but I'm just not feeling that. I would rather just hang on to my shorts right now, hoping to catch that runner, because we're just seeing weakness everywhere, right? And I was talking about this yesterday. Anytime we get some sort of a rally, we get towards our Fibonacci pockets or anything, we just seem to get rejections, and they're happening earlier and earlier on the trend. And yesterday, I was willing to consider that, hey, we were trading at support, right? We did end up coming back down to this level. So even with this immediate range, right? If we were calling this our higher high, this would be the lowest point between the two. So this would be our higher low on this, just basically this immediate trend, right? But the fact that, we came down, tested this level, got a bounce, and on the immediate trend, I mean, we were not able to reclaim this lower high on this immediate downtrend here. And it's just looking like a lot of weakness. The fact that we came back down to these levels after already getting this little liquidity grab here, it's just looking a little bit weak to me. So I just want to hang on to my position, because I've been saying for a while now, basically since we were up at these levels, that I thought we were on our way down towards 52,000 US dollars. So my full range target, I mean, is down at this 214, which would be around 53.6K technically. I think that we would actually go a little bit lower, but that Fibonacci is basically just front running the opposing 786, right? So if I'm looking for a support, a macro support on this full swing on the 4 hour here, I would basically be looking at the 786, 886, which would take us around 52.5 down towards 50.8 thousand. And then double bottom is right around 49K. So, I mean, yeah, we're getting close to support. We're going to have to see what happens, but I'm just seeing so much weakness. Even if we take a look at our weekly chart here, I mean, this doesn't look good. I just can't look at this chart and feel bullish right now. We're just, setting low, lower low, lower low, lower low, high, lower high, lower high, lower high. I mean, to me, I just can't be bullish on this trend yet. I'm sorry. I would love to be. I miss being a moon boy. It's been several months and I'm going through withdrawals of being a moon boy. But unfortunately, I just don't see it yet. So I'm just continuing to trade the downside for now. I still hold most of my spot positions. I want to be clear about that. I'm not bearish on crypto as a whole. I'm just open to the idea that there is some sort of a bigger retrace, and I'm okay trading the downside, right? If we go up, great. I'll start playing the bullish side again. That's totally fine. If we break out of this range and we break all-time highs, there'll be plenty of upside move if the bull trend is going to continue from there. I'm more than okay starting to play that trend once again. But as it stands right now, I'm just seeing lower lows, lower highs, and I'm going to have that bias until that changes, basically. So yeah, basically, I just wanted to do a very quick update with kind of how this went. Like I said, my initial entry was actually a couple of $100 higher. Yeah, it was just below 58.3K. But like I said, I ended up getting into a new position right around 58K. So yes, it could have been a little bit better, but it was still juicy, still beautiful. And with leverage, that was an absolutely beautiful move. So no complaints there. And to see us just basically come right back to this range support right at the level where we were kind of talking about. I think it was the 15-minute we were looking at it actually, but it doesn't change anything. The structure is the same. We broke this yellow line and then we get that retrace, right? And now people are probably going to get very bearish into support. And to be clear about this, I mean, I am obviously bearish, right? You guys know that I'm bearish, and yes, I am bearish at support, but the difference is I'm not opening new short positions at this level, right? My shorts were taken near resistance, and I have been taking profits near support. Even if I'm still bearish on this trend, I'm still making sure I'm paying myself here because, like I said, that 4 hour, it's looking weak. The fact that, yes, it is just wicks so far, but the fact that we have been wicking below this support back here just makes me think that there's some weakness. And I just, at this point, I don't really see why we wouldn't drop all the way to that 786 of the macro trend, just because, you know, every time frame that I trade, whether it's the 5 minute, the 1 minute, the 1 hour, whatever it is that I'm looking at, I generally like to look for those structure breaks followed by those pullbacks to the 786, 886. So the fact that we're so close already, Yes, it's possible it gets front run and all that sort of stuff, but just as it looks, I don't know. I really have a feeling we're on our way down there. The unfortunate part about this is when I talk about weakness is that we still, even though we are going down towards that 786 on the macro time frame around 52.5K, if we do end up hitting that, remember that is my range target for a potential support level. The thing is, that's not an actual Stuber fib setup. Those are the ones that I talk about on every stream here. That is a 786, 886 fib pocket, and those do get respected and get some sort of a reaction quite often. But the thing is, we never did take out this lower high up here and then followed by that pullback to that level. So we don't have the structure break going with this continuation to an uptrend kind of a thing. We still have a downtrend of lower lows, lower highs. So it's just a little bit added risk with this level down here that, hey, maybe the bulls aren't going to pull the trigger this time. You know, the fact that the weekly has set several lower lows at this point, at what point does the floor just absolutely give way? If that floor gives way, the nearest support where, hey, at least we had a couple months of consolidation on the way up here is basically that 45 down towards 40,000 US dollars. I would expect some sort of a bounce there. If we blast through that, it does not look good for Bitcoin. I think we would go to significantly lower levels because before this range here, and I talked about this yesterday, we really had not much trading action on the way up to that level. So we have no structure in here until basically this bigger range where we traded sideways for several months, right? And that does happen to line up once again, pulling up my handy dandy Stuber fibs here. The 786 does kind of line up right in the middle of that bigger range there, which would be all the way down at 28K. So I don't want to say we're going there for sure. I truly believe it would take some sort of a black swan event to push us to those levels. But with, you know, big wars going on, with elections around the corner, all that sort of stuff, there's just a lot of potential for something to happen. But obviously, we're just going to have to see what happens. I'm not trading the weekly chart. I'm just looking at it for potential scenarios, just so I can keep a level head if things do start happening. Because there's going to be a lot of people where if we drop this range, even if we drop from here, a lot of people are going to be blindsided and think, what the hell is going on? But when you can actually zoom out and look at the structure for what it is, it just helps the person keep a level head, right? So that's why I really like to zoom in or zoom out and look at things, even if I'm zooming way in to take my trades. So yeah, as far as if you're excessively bullish, I do see reasons why we could bounce here because, you know, we are in double bottom territory. We never did sweep this low. We came very close to it with a wick. But yeah, really getting those candle bodies and consolidation right in the 786, 886. So basically between 56.2K down to 55.8. We're seeing a lot of sideways action here. So even if this support doesn't hold, you can just see how clearly that Fibonacci pocket gets respected so often, right? Do we just see some sort of a reaction happening there? And that's exactly why I love to play it and why there's tight invalidation, right? If you're going to, you know, either invalidate it if you sweep the lows, I personally like to leave some wiggle room. And that's why I have my 115. I actually usually leave a looser stop loss than that a little bit. It's just kind of on there as a reminder to leave some basically liquidity grab room, you know, if the trade is going to go against me or if it's still going to play out, but get some sort of a quick grab. But like I said, guys, I'm personally not interested in playing this long right now. Even if we get some sort of a bounce, you know, if we bounce above this structure here around 57.3K, I'm going to close the rest of my position because I just think it's possible we go higher. But I've been paying myself along the way because that's just how I trade. Is it a good point to short? I personally don't think so. I think the time to short was yesterday when I took one on stream here because we were trading at resistance, right? I know it always feels bearish as we're trading into support, but the thing is support until it's broken. For me personally, to look for a new short at this point, I would want to see a sweep of the lows. I would want to see us lose this structure and then get some sort of a retrace. And yes, it would take a long, well, I shouldn't say a long time because, well, this is the 15-minute. That's longer than I typically play. But I would like to see a sweep of the lows followed by a pullback to some much higher levels, because that happens so often, right? Even when I was looking at this yesterday, I was saying that, yeah, even if there's a bullish break, I would still expect some sort of a pullback to those deeper Fibonacci pockets, just like the same in the opposite direction, right? If we end up dropping these lows, I would expect a bounce, and that's where I'd start pulling Fibonacci's from our current top of this swing, right? So entering a short now is just a little bit dangerous, because we could very easily pump basically back above 58K and still hold bearish structure, right? Depending if we break these lows, obviously. But yeah, that would be totally normal. So also depends how much leverage you use and stuff like that. Not to say we can't absolutely dump from here. It's just obviously high risk whenever you're going to short into support or long into resistance. I mean, that's just generally how a lot of traders get wrecked, right? So something to consider there. I am personally bearish. I think we're going much lower, but I think the good short was yesterday, because we're not at resistance right now. We're at support. So that's why I'm paying myself on the short rather than taking a new short at this level. I always stream at just the right time. Well, that's good to hear. I actually, I have to go in within the next 5 minutes here. I just really wanted to do a very quick update with you guys, because I'm actually curious. Were any of you guys, actually, I see a few familiar faces here. Some of you guys were here with me yesterday. I'm just curious, did anyone else take that short yesterday near the end of my stream? I know, like I said at the beginning, I think I actually took 3 shorts in yesterday's stream. One of them, I took a very small profit. The second one was basically break even. And then the third one just ripped. So no complaints there, even though it took a few tries for me to get into a nice position. I didn't take any losses before it. And it did end up playing out. And when I'm trading, when I'm scalping like this and I'm quick to take profits, I mean, I'm trading at 69x leverage because I'm a total degenerate. Obviously, I factor in margin amounts. Whenever you enter a position, you should always know what's worst case scenario. How much money could I lose if this goes against me, right? That should always be your main focus, is protecting yourself. So even if I'm using high leverage, obviously I understand that I'm only using a small percentage of my bankroll, right? But yeah, using high leverage, this was absolutely a phenomenal move. Again, just like that Ton short that I shared last week. It's you add a little leverage to those moves and it's a big percentage. So this one's over 200%. I mean, I can't complain with that. So but yeah, as far as the 4-hour goes, like I said, I still think there's potential to drop down towards that 53.5K, even down lower. I personally think lower, but I like to front run my targets basically. So I personally think lower prices are coming. It just, we'll have to see which route we take to get there. Just looking at the 4-hour right now, I mean, any kind of structure that I can see right now is just, so we never did just set a new lower low. We're basically double bottoming here. So basically, since that was the previous low. So low, lower low, this would be our lower high for just this downtrend, right? Not on the big trend, just this immediate one. So if you're looking for a short, I mean, could look for something like that. If we do end up getting a bounce, that would be around, that's closer to 59K. So it'd take a while to get there, but this is a 4-hour chart, right? So, but yeah, I personally think lower prices are coming. It's just a matter of when, but if structure changes, so will my opinion. So, and actually one thing I wanted to mention about this position is one of the reasons that I felt confident in it. I know we were watching it on the 1 minute for a while. Is I was mentioning that if the MDX ALGO Trendmaster indicator switched directions with the sell signals again, and we started setting lower sell signals once again in this range, that I was going to be looking at that as confirmation, right? To see the indicators line up. Oh, it's taking a little bit to load here. Hopefully this will load. I'm not sure why that's not loading right now. Let's just reload my chart here. Okay, if I bring up Trendmaster indicator. There we go. And it was on the 1 minute I was looking at it. Well, we were trading sideways in this range here. I said that, if we started getting lower buy and lower sell signals, that would just give me some added confluence that I think that's just confirmation that we're going to trend to the downside. And that's exactly what happened while we were trading in this range, right? We had these buy signals that were trending to the upside. The sell signals were also trending to the upside. But then all of a sudden, we end up seeing that lower buy signal and lower sell signals. You can see 3 in a row: low sell signal, lower sell signal, lower sell signal. So not that I'm taking each signal individually, but just kind of pointing out or using them to help me point out which way the trend is moving or about to move. That was a beautiful signal right there. So yeah, basically I was looking at things, and I always look at things market structure first. I'm looking at price action first, but then I love bringing up these indicators just as basically a second opinion, see if it kind of matches, see if it's agreeing with the trend that I'm seeing and all that sort of stuff. So if these indicators do interest you, I mean, I say this all the time. I've been using these religiously for the last slightly over 2 years. They're the only indicators I've been using other than the RSI, because I have very specific setups that I look for with the RSI. But other than that, I've been using these indicators every single day. So if that does interest you, there is a link in the description down below that gets you an additional 10% discount on top of current promotions there. So very cool. And yeah, like I said, I absolutely love using these for added confidence in my positions. So what else? I guess oh, sorry, just getting rid of stuff here by accident. Yeah, I guess as far as this looks, I am going to just reload the chart one more time, see how we're kind of finding support right now. Yeah, still right in that Stuber fib pocket. No surprise there that we are still getting some sort of a reaction at this level. So we're going to have to see if we do end up bouncing out of this. Yeah, there's absolutely a chance that we shoot all the way back up towards 58K. But like I said, the 4 hour even, it just looks like there's a lot of weakness right now. So we shall see. But anyways, guys, I think that's about all I have time to go over very quickly. Like I said, I just wanted to do a quick follow-up after yesterday's stream, find out who took that position, that sort of thing. Hopefully you guys have been finding these streams useful. If so, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss these live sessions. As I mentioned, if you're interested in my absolute favorite indicators on TradingView, there's that additional 10% discount on checkout using the link down below. And yeah, with that, I think that's about all I had to say. So I'm hoping to do another one of these live streams here on Financial Summit within the next few days. I do have a busy few days coming up ahead of me. So we're going to see if I end up at my desk here over the weekend or not, basically. But we will see. So with that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.